everyone. Welcome to the Pink Radish Vegan Kitchen. What are we making today for dinner? We're going to have a lentil stew with vegetables. We love lentils in this household because lentils hold so much goodness and nutrition. Lentils are they're the edible seeds of the legume family. So when when the legumes flower, they turn to seed. So you're eating seed power here when you have lentils. Now these lentils are pink lentils, and there's, as I've said before, four different kinds of lentils that I'm most familiar with. Pink, and this will reduce down into a very creamy type of broth. You have brown lentils, green lentils, and black lentils. But today for this particular stew, we're using the red lentils because we want that really creamy, sort of thick, beautiful brothy consistency. Now I've made this before, and this is a wonderful recipe, so delicious and so full of nutrition. And on a day like today that it's cold and rainy and windy in Southern California, this is the perfect dish to make. So I've got garlic, of course, that's going to go in, but let me show you the vegetables. Let me bring over the star of the show. When the lentils cook down, they're going to just turn into sort of a pinkish tan sort of sauce. They won't have a lot of color to them once they're cooked down. So this is where all the star of the show comes. We have 4 stalks of celery. We've got 2 carrots here. I had a leek because it called for onion, but I'm going to use a leek. I need to clean the refrigerator out because we're going to be going east soon, and we need to eat up all the food we have. I had a little bit of leftover sweet potato, so I'm just going to throw that in for, whatever. And then these become the color and the texture of the stew. The other thing I'm going to add to it is a can of diced organic tomatoes. We get those at Costco. And then after it all cooks with the 6 cups of broth, and this is vegetable broth, I'm going to put it in the Instapot. It's going to go into the Instapot. So I'll saute first, and then I'll just add everything, put the broth in, and then add the lentils in. After it's finished, I'll add a little bit of water if it needs it, if it's too thick. But I'm also going to add some leftover rice. We made this the other night, and I think this will really add a lot to the texture. And we'll just, each of us, eat a nice hearty bowl of this for dinner. If we want something else afterwards, if we want apple or whatever, we can have that. But this is so filling and so good. And the other ingredient that goes into it is coconut, unsweetened coconut milk. This is what else gives it that really creamy texture as well. The spices, pepper, of course, black pepper, fresh ground black pepper. And I'm going to be using Jamie Geller's Jerusalem Mixed Grill. This has cumin, coriander, cinnamon, salt, and turmeric in it. And as you can see, it has a really nice, beautiful color to it. I wish I could let you smell how good this smells. But these are pretty much the traditional spices that go into a sort of curried type of lentil stew. And with that, we are going to start getting things into the Instapot, and we're going to begin the saute process. Going into the pot first is going to be the celery. And as I said, that was four stalks. And then also I love to put in, since it was the end of the celery, I love to put in what they call the feathers. And so the feathers are going into the pot as well. And then also we are going to put in, on this particular first saute, I'm going to get the leeks into the pot too. It called for 2 onions, and I don't know that this leek measures up to 2 onions, although there's a lot of onion flavor. Leeks have a different sort of flavor, and I just used 1 large leek. After I saute this mixture for a few minutes, I'm going to add the carrots and the sweet potatoes, but those will go in a little bit later. So let's get sauteing. Also, the garlic won't go in until we saute down this mixture. When I put in the carrots and the sweet potatoes, that's when I'll add the garlic. We're now in the saute phase. I have the Instapot going on saute. This is a wonderful feature of the Instapot. If you don't have one, it really helps to speed things along. most soups and chilies and everything always have a saute phase for the vegetables that you put in. And the beginning vegetables, as you remember, are the leeks and the celery. They're sauteing away. Now I want to talk a little bit more about leeks and why leeks are so good for you. First of all, the leeks I'm using today, the lentils I'm using today are the pink ones. And they say that the pink lentils taste more nutty and that they also have a slightly sweet flavor. I think that's the reason why they use these a lot in Indian cooking, is because of that sweet flavor. Lentils are a protein and a fiber powerhouse. These guys are really good for your gut. If you have any kinds of issues about needing more fiber in your diet, this is a way to do it. Leeks have per cup about 200 and, lentils. I keep saying leeks. Thank you, cameraman. The lentils have about 283 calories per cup. They are 30 grams of carbohydrate and about 18 grams of protein. So when people ask vegans, well, where do you get your protein? You know, we don't have to eat a piece of steak or have a hamburger. We get it from our vegetables, especially leeks. And again, remember that these are considered, lentils, that these are considered a seed. So they have a lot of inside sort of nutrition. As far as your vitamins and minerals go, very high in B vitamins, manganese also. There's a lot of iron in here. And if you were to eat a piece of meat, you would get mostly the same sort of vegetables, nutrition elements in that, but you're going to get a lot more calories. A small 4-ounce steak will be up around 900 to 1,000 calories, and these are 283 in the same nutritional family. So as we talk about cooking from home, this becomes an extremely easy, very fast, kind of nutritious meal, full meal, and it comes together extremely fast. Now, cameraman, if you want to take a peek inside the pot, you can see that this is really wilted down quite a bit. And we are going to add now the garlic, the sweet potato, and the carrots. And we're going to toss those around a little bit, and then I'm going to add the spice as well. So in goes the carrots, sweet potato. And remember, we're cleaning the refrigerator out here a little bit too, so I'm kind of laughing as I do this. The recipe that I'm going to pin in the description below, like I always do, isn't going to have the sweet potato in it. It's not going to have the rice in it. But you can, add your own goodness into it, and you can definitely make a recipe, always make a recipe your own. And so I'm going to add a good sized tablespoon of this spice into this mixture. And this has the flavor elements that we're going to be looking for. It's that comfort food, that umami comfort food that comes with this. Now, when it comes with this spice, one of the great things, doesn't that look pretty in there? One of the great things about this spice, and it's got black pepper in it, and the cumin, the coriander, a little tiny bit of salt. I didn't add extra salt because there's salt in the broth. When we add the broth, we're going to be adding salt in with the broth. But this will kind of now cook down for just a second. It's really however long you want to do it. I like to do it a little bit so that it sort of wakes those spices up, because that's a really good cooking technique. If you're using spice, you want to be able to really wake it up and get it ready and fragrant for your recipes to cook down. And now it's time for the star of the show. Our pink lentils are going in. And as I said, this is 2 cups. Uh-oh. Hello. I'm going to get this over here. Hello, come out wherever you are. Yay! I didn't make a mess. So those are the lentils now into the pot. And it calls for 6 cups of liquid, but I'm only going to, at this point, put in 4 cups, because if you've ever used an Instapot, you know that it makes its own liquid too. I don't know that it's 4 cups or it'll make 2 cups, but I just want to be sure that we are not over giving too much liquid in here. So we're going to break these lentils up. Oh, I didn't tell you, whenever you use lentils, you always have to wash them. So that's why it came out very dome-like, because those had already been rinsed, and they came out of the strainer looking like that. And that I just left it that way because I thought it was really kind of pretty. And since pretty matters in my world, being someone who has a energy center that has to do with balance and beauty, I'm very much all about how things look. So I'm also a word girl, in case you can't tell. That's why I can make a video and talk. And it's very important for me to be able to express myself in my divine gifts. If you want to know more about that, you can go to my website on the Akashic Alignments, where it talks about soul gifts and so on. So we are now ready for the lid. So I'm going to cancel the saute function, and I'll put the lid on, and we're going to let it go for about 8 minutes under pressure. So I'll just step around the cameraman if he wants to peek in there while I get the lid. Smells good already, huh?
Smells great.
Yeah. That's one thing about this, whenever you're sauteing onions and garlic and everything. All right, so the lid is on. It's on the setting for pressure. And now I'm going to pressure cook here. And, oh, it's already on 8 minutes. And then what happens is that if I needed to adjust the minutes, I would have used this or this, the plus or minus, to get what I wanted. But we're already on. It takes a few minutes for a delay for the Instapot to know that you mean it to be 8 minutes. And now you walk away. And that's as simple as that.
So we forgot the tomatoes, so we wanted to get those in as quickly as we could. I took the lid off, threw them in, gave it a stir, and now the lid goes back on.
So we got everything in the Instapot. It is 3:30 in the afternoon. That's going to go for 8 minutes. Just want to get my spices done. And then when it's finished, I add the coconut milk to it and mix it all up. And then I'm also going to add the rice, but only maybe when I warm it up for dinner, I'll add the rice. This is such an easy deal. Let me tell you, if you need to make a really good, hearty dinner and you want leftovers, because this will feed at least a family of 6 without any problem in a nice hearty bowl. What we will have with it is we might have a piece of pita with it. If I also have some pickled vegetables, we can have. On the top of it, you can also drizzle in some yogurt if you want as well on the finished product. And if you wanted to add just a little bit more spice to the top for prettiness, you can do that. Because remember, pretty matters. So in this particular case, I'm done cooking dinner. The Instapot's going to do all the hard work. And I'm delighted about that. That's the reason why I love the Instapot so much. It's no watching, no nothing. When it's done and the pressure naturally releases, which means that I don't release the pressure valve, it just naturally releases on its own. It's about a 20-minute cook cycle between the 8 minutes and then the natural release. And then I just go stir it and see how all the vegetables are. I might also add spinach to this to make it even a little bit more healthy and nutritious. So we have tomatoes in there, we have carrots, we have sweet potatoes, we've got leeks, and then I might add spinach for additional nutritional value. Cooking from home is easy, and it's one of the things that everyone has to do if they really want to take control of their health and well-being. Because when you know what goes in your food, then you can feel comfortable that you're eating a nutritious plate of delicious food. So when it's all finished, you're going to see the final product, probably in the bowl. We'll talk about it a little bit. I want to thank my cameraman Steve for earning his supper tonight.
You're welcome.
And I will see you all at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. All right, everyone, it's finally dinner time. And here we have the finished stew. I put a little sour cream, or not sour cream, but Kite Hill yogurt on the top of it, serving it with a little bit of flatbread. And that is going to do it for today's video. We can't wait to dig in. It smells delicious too. All right, see you at the next video.